When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes, some of us will probably catch it on TV with chicken hanging from our mouths. You'll know it's revolution because there won't be no commercial. When the revolution when the revolution comes, when the revolution comes, preacher pimps are gonna split the scene with the communion wine stuck in their back pockets. Faggots won't be so funny then, and all the junkies will quit their nod and wake up when the revolution comes. When the revolution comes, transit cops will be crushed by the trains after losing their guns, and blood will run through the streets of Harlem, drowning anything without substance. When the revolution comes, when the revolution comes, when the revolution comes. What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Bill Foster, with my lovely wife, Malika Foster, with me today. This is a special edition of presidential election 2020. How you doing?
I'm nervous.
Right.
But we have faith, so that's what we gotta go on right now.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I'm good though. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm good.
It's nice to see you. Nice to be next to you and rub shoulders with you.
There you go. What's up, everybody chiming in? I see you, James, Earl. What's happening? Doug, what's going on, brother? Yeah, Doug, we got our fingers crossed too, man. This is a different time. This is like, so much anxiety is hitting everybody across the world due to the situation. And basically, I really don't know what to say. People are feeling it. I mean, how are you guys out there feeling it today? We got a good show tonight. We only going to really rock for about an hour, but we have people calling in key states and all over the world right now, just to give their insight on the voting of this election.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful thing. We have one person chiming in from the polls, and we're going to see what they're doing.
Yeah, it's interesting. We were on the same page. We often are, but I was messaging with my cousin Tina. Hi, Tina. I see you out there. And we were talking, like 5 o'clock, 5:30 this morning, and Tina mentioned, "Oh, you guys, she's a little nervous, as a lot of us are." And we were just chatting about how good it would be to touch base, this evening and talk about the election. So I was thinking about that, and I didn't know Bill was thinking about doing the same thing. So, it worked out perfectly. I know we've talked to quite a number of people throughout the day today. So here we are talking to you. Like Bill mentioned, we have a few people that we did reach out to who are actually going to join us live on the video just to share their voting experience. They're in different cities, different states actually. So we appreciate them for joining us. I have to say we voted last Thursday, so we opted to do in-person voting. And I don't know if some of you may have seen the video, but I was just like so ecstatic. And who cares that it was raining? It was a great day. So we were happy to hear that a few people saw that video and they actually went out and voted because, hey, it's raining. It wasn't that crowded, and it was a good day to vote. So it was good to, inspire people to get out early and, exercise their civic duty to get the votes in early. So here we are.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody chiming in. I see you, Sue Host, Mighty 28. Douglas said, "Brother, I'm sick of this election. Go our way. The street will be bloody." Yeah, you're right. James Baker said, "I refuse to believe that the American public is stupid enough to go for this idiot Chief Agent Orange again. If they do, it says a lot about the state of this country." That's a big thing. Shout out to Tina. She said, "Yes, I'm very nervous. Thanks for the live, Bill. Absolutely."
Mm-hmm.
And your cousin loves your glasses. I love them.
Oh, thank you.
What's up, Marquetta? How are you? Like I said, Manny, I see you in the building. Colin, I'm all over the place tonight, in and out. Yeah, man, we are.
I just read that too, Colin. Like, it's interesting. Bill just asked how I'm doing, and the first thing I'm like, I'm nervous. That never happens, but oh, it's just we're going to think positive. We're going to think positive. A lot of people that we know have gotten out and voted early. A lot of people were out today. I have to say that my hairdresser, she's down in Delaware, and someone else that you know told us the other day that Delaware doesn't have early
Yeah,
voting.
yeah, my
So
man Darren Gold.
Darren,
Yeah,
yeah, Darren and my stylist Aaron both told us. So it's like, well, I never thought about which states allow for early voting, and so Delaware is one that did not. So today was the very first day. So Darren, if you're watching, please let us know what it was like down in Delaware. Just
yeah,
curious to know how that went today.
yeah. And I might have to reach out if any of my cousins chime in the DMV area. Let us know what's going on. Maybe I might have to send them some uh text messages or see what we can do right there. Vanetta, what's going on? Good evening, forces. Peace and blessings to everyone. I mailed my ballot in. Yeah. With the mail-in ballots, I think it's confirmed that if they are postmarked by today, they will be counted, which
Yeah.
is good. I mean, the one thing I think we all know that this election might not be uh finalized until maybe the end of this week. But we heard 45 said he was thought about claiming victory, but he's not. I think just coming in, I think Indiana is over. I think he won
Yeah.
Indiana already. It's not confirmed. I think, I'm asking you all, what do y'all think about the fact that so many millions of people did the early voting, which is, I mean, I think a great
Yeah,
thing.
it's like 100 million people voted early, which
Yeah.
I think is incredible. Um,
Yeah. Also, too, do you think out there that this is all kind of like everybody, because with early voting, I think they started counting some of the votes today.
mhm.
But if people come to the polls, that's when they kind of count the polls now.
Right.
So it may look like one person is winning over the other. Um, I think a lot of people came out. Well, we know for a fact a lot of people came out.
Yes.
A lot of people are tired. Um, Shout out to everybody that's watching. This is Real Talk Chronicles.
Yeah, I'm checking out the comments. We definitely appreciate it. So it's interesting. One thing I want to tell you before, because we do have our first guest on the line, but my mom was telling me this morning, I think it was like around 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. She mentioned there was a really long line, because she could see the line from her apartment. And I'm like, oh, that's great. I hope it's like that all day. And honest to goodness, about 2 hours, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours later, nothing for the rest of the day. So she checked in with me throughout the day just to let me know the line didn't come back again. It's like, okay, so it's good that people got out early in the morning in that neighborhood, but did the rest of them in that neighborhood vote early? I hope so.
Yeah, I mean the
But
thing
where'd
is
they
also
go?
too. Yeah, I mean we're talking about early voting. Like a lot of people may have voted early and just got it out the
Yeah.
way. Like I said, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my lovely wife, Malika Forster. Shout out to everybody who's watching on YouTube and Facebook Live. If you like it, share it right here. We're going to talk about this early voting right now. We're not going to be on here more. Shout out Al Mean Moore. What's up, Jug? Andre Richardson, Vanetta. Indiana is a redneck state. Anyway, shaking my head. I hear you. Kentucky too. Marquetta, yes, I saw that too. What's up, Michelle Lee? Diamond Vision in the building. Tina said Philadelphia feels very dark and unsettling. Biden signs being taken down and replaced with Trump signs. Wow, scare tactics.
That's nuts. So we've been talking about that the last couple of days. We're just like right outside of Philly right now, but it's crazy just riding up City Line Avenue, which is a major street in the area, and just it was heartbreaking to see so many stores boarded up. I could tell that the cell phone stores had already been broken into. So let me help you with that.
Yeah, it's getting
So
hot.
so yeah, it was just sad to see. And then there were obviously reports of harassment. There's no other way to put it. I mean, they were honking and, what was it down in North Carolina? The video of the truck that kind of rammed into the car down there in
Right,
North
right, right,
Carolina.
right.
So they're looking into that. That also was going on in Philly. So our friend David posted that they rode through South Philly like 100 cars. Cousin Tina said the same thing. There were about 100 cars. It's just that aggressive behavior. I don't get it.
Tina said
I
80%,
don't-
80% of the mail-in ballots were denied in the Northwest, the Northeast. There were no lines. Kind of scary. Shout out
Mm,
to Tanya White in the building. Kevin Grayson in the building. Shout out to Mighty 28 in the building. Giving you Janine Myrick, what's going on? How are you, Minister? I see. I like that. Kevin Graves is in the building. Shout out, Pastor Graves. Tony Castilla is in the building. What's going on, Tony? Yeah, get off that detail, brother. It's about that time. Doug said Orange Boy calls this after the last election. Each vote really counts. Yeah, it's a different world we're living in right now.
yeah.
You want to bring in our first guest, or shall we?
Yeah, I think we should go ahead and get started.
Gary,
And
what's up, Gerard?
hey, Gary. Yeah, let's see what's going on. Booker, I see you down there. We're gonna pull you out of the waiting room and bring you onto the live stream to join us. Hey, Booker.
Hi, how's everybody?
Good. How
Let
are
me
you?
just
Real
change
good. Nice to meet you, Bill. Malika, it's good to see you.
Yeah,
What's going on? How
Booker,
you feeling?
Bill, Booker.
How you feeling,
Yeah,
brother?
I'm doing good.
Good.
I have to say that Booker and I met, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago in Philly,
Yes,
at the Man Young Arts Festival. So Booker
yeah,
is an artist, and we aggressively follow each other on Instagram. Like, what are you
yeah,
creating
yeah.
now? What are you creating? So, so thank you, Booker, for joining us. I do appreciate it. I know it was like, oh, hey, you want to join the podcast?
Yeah,
As soon
Well,
as I saw
thank
your
you
name,
for having me.
I
yeah.
Thank you for
Hold on
appreciate
for
having
it.
me.
1 second, Booker.
Absolutely.
Hold on
Thank
for a
you.
second. Yeah, everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my lovely wife, Malika Forster. If you like it, share it. We're on YouTube. Subscribe to it. I just want to read some of the comments real quick, Booker, and then we're going to come to you. Kevin Graves, he said, I was encouraged to see people do what they can to help make a difference. Where I live, the line was long. Thank God, your voice counts. Kevin, let me know if you voted today or whenever what day you voted. Uh, Celeste, it's a damn shame this fool has made our country feel like a third world country during an election. We have never had to prepare for an election. Shaking my head, right? Johnny Cross, my old partner in the building. What's up, John? Tina, I'm wondering if 80% were denied, that means more people should be out voting.
Right.
Marquetta, they said it's going to take a few days to get all votes in. Everyone acting up tonight could be for nothing. You're right. Uh, Somebody said, Tina said, hi, Booker. What's up, Phil, in the building? So go ahead. So please tell us where are you calling from, Booker? Where are you?
Okay, I'm in North Carolina,
Okay.
and I'm in a small town in North Carolina, just outside of two of the major cities, Raleigh and Durham, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I voted about 2 weeks ago, and it's been voting in itself has been pretty easy. It was pretty easy where I am. My experience was that we were going to do mail-in ballots.
Okay.
And so they came in, and after they started having the problems at the USPS, we decided we were going to still fill out the mail-in ballots, but we were going to take them to the yes, exactly, and drop them off there. And so that's what we ended up doing, and it was a fairly swift process. The one thing that I noticed that was a little different is it just was a lot of people out there, and it was a lot of people that showed up. We were able to get in and out probably in about 10 minutes, but it was just more people than in past elections.
Okay, Booker, hold on for a second. We have a person calling in right now that's live at the polls, and we're going to come back to you.
Okay, sounds great.
What's up, young lady? How are you?
I'm okay. I'm in
So
the
what's going
stairwell
on
now.
Okay, so tell us what's happening at the polls in New York City.
Well, what's been happening over here where I am on 93rd Street, so far it's been like dead. I think everybody has gotten in, their early voting, which is a wonderful thing. And the last line we had was at 7:30 a.m.
Same with my mom. Wow.
So I
Wow.
think a lot of
7:30
people have gotten
a.m.
in early. I think a lot of people probably, June. I mean, get your take on this, and Booker, hold this in your ear for me.
Okay.
Do you think a lot of people were, so afraid of this, this tampering of the mail that they just got out and voted? So right now,
Yep,
that's why everybody just who would be at the polls right now have already voted, kind of per se.
I think that's what happened. We were all talking. A lot of us have been talking, and we're trying to figure this out. And we're like, people just was like, let's get this out of the way. And they got it out the way because of the nonsense that was going on. But it seems like this site is a Democratic site anyway, so mostly. So everybody was like, let's hurry up. I was hearing all the stories. They said on the past couple of weeks, I don't know if they did this in other neighborhoods, but they were getting treated with food. The people on lines, they had entertainment at the polls and stuff for the early voters. They were going out for them.
Wow.
At least down here, they said it was on 102nd Street. They said, what is that, World Central Kitchen or whatever that place is? Yeah, they were giving them food and feeding everybody online, waiting in line, because they were waiting for hours then. Now they didn't have to wait at all.
Interesting. Interesting.
Huh. Yeah.
So yeah,
They gave them face masks that said vote. They were getting all kind of goodies over here, they said.
Wow. So are you almost done? I know you've been out there all day, June. Are you almost done?
We can't close up anything until probably 9:01, and we could close the doors, and then everything has to be counted, put away, tallied, whatever they got to do, and we'll be here till 10 o'clock.
Interesting.
All right. Well, listen, if you want to, June, come back at any time. If anything changes, let us know what's happening. I don't want you to get in trouble sneaking away, being out on the site reporter.
Look, I'm sitting there. Look, you just saved me. I was falling asleep in the chair. Three of us are sitting next to each other, falling asleep on each other.
So, June, this is what I want you to do. Come back around 8:40 and let us know what's happening. I mean, no, 7:40. 7:40. Sorry, 7:40, because we're going to be on for 8. So come back at 7:40 and just let us know what's happening, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right.
I will.
Be careful.
Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. So, Book, do you think people were just afraid of this early, just the fact that they was talking about the tampering of the post office, that they wanted to just vote early? And you where you are, you said you're in a small town, so is it kind of rural like that kind of? Yes.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. It's kind of rural. And I do believe that many people got out to the polls early and participated in early voting because I think there was just the feeling that the mail-in ballots were going to be tampered with, were not going to be delivered on time, perhaps not counted. And so, we just kind of said in ourselves, what, we'll fill them out here, but we'll take them to the poll site ourselves to make sure that, that they were being counted. And even in that process, there was still some discomfort that you had, because when you delivered the ballot, you gave it to a person and you weren't really sure what they did with it afterwards. I can't think of the website, but there's a website that we can go here and you can put your name in to check that your vote has been counted. And so, of course, our votes were counted. So that gave us the comfort, but just the whole process itself made you want to get in there early and get your vote in.
Got you.
And I personally, I never had this feeling before, where I felt so discomforted in the process. And I wanted my vote in there. I wanted it in someone's hands, and I wanted to know that it had been registered, it had been counted, and after that we could see what happens.
Right.
Explain. Talk about your feeling. I know for us it was almost like I guess voting for the first time, voting for Obama at the time. Definitely, I voted for Obama. You voted for Obama right there. We weren't together back then, so I'm just
You
asking,
know who I
making
voted
sure.
for.
Exactly. But I was you was voting for Mitt Romney. So
he might actually get my vote today.
exactly.
Right.
So it is. I think a lot of people, had an anxiety about it. People still have anxiety right about it now. Until I get sponsored, I'm not going to tell everybody what I'm drinking, but anybody that knows me knows what I do drink. You know, understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
So,
yes.
but Booker, that the fact that you're here, and if you can stay with us, that's more than pleasurable. Please, can you stay with us for a while?
Sure, absolutely,
Good.
yes.
Okay, good, because I'm going to bring in now anybody that knows this young man. If you've seen me since 1994, whatever, this man has been by my side, my right hand, and I've been his left hand. This is my dude. I love him to death. I'm bringing to the thing. I'm bringing my man Al Frierson in the building, baby. What's up, man?
Yo, what's going on?
And
Hey,
what's up, man?
Mrs.
Get close
Foster.
so people can see your face. Don't be scared. I got your
Say
back. There
that.
you go. I got your back. You've been
Wow.
running.
You know what it is? I'm on my phone in my basement because
Okay.
that's where the wife put me and the dog.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. Yeah.
So Al, tell everybody you're in Atlanta, correct?
That's correct. In Beaufort, Georgia.
Beaufort, Georgia. Now, where
Yeah,
is
it's
Beaufort, Georgia?
50 minutes north of Atlanta, of the airport.
Okay. All right. Is that considered? Is that the suburbs? Is that like rural
Yeah,
town? Or,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, like the suburbs. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, no suburbs, not rural.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Did you do early voting or you voted today?
I did actually early voting.
Okay. What was it? What was it like there? Early voting for you?
Well, my daughter, I picked up the big girl, my daughter from UGA. She's a freshman, her first year voting in a presidential election.
Oh, you took her.
So
Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
it was
Awesome.
her and I. So we drove to a place in Gainesville, which is like very rural. So as we're driving, she's pointing out different. That's a plantation. There were slaves here. There were slaves there. I'm pointing them out. And it took us about. We got to the location. It took us about. It was real easy. It was about 10 minutes, maybe, if that, for both of us.
Now,
Wow.
now, Al, let me ask you a question. You're in Georgia, and that's a red state. What is the temperature like? Like, how are people acting? Are they still friendly? Are people nasty? Have you seen a lot of like
Okay.
discrepancies, trumps? And I'm gonna
Okay.
come to you, Booker. Go ahead.
Okay. I think I saw one. I think I saw. You know how sometimes it's not blatant, but you get that feeling, if you know what I mean. I went to a PetSmart in Beaufort by the Mall of Georgia, which is basically, I would say, more of a mix. I would say if I wanted to guess, probably 50-50 Republican Democrat area.
Okay.
So, went to the PetSmart. Everybody was cool, no problems, at all. That was yesterday. Went to the PetSmart today in
Hold on, let
another
me just
part of
think it.
town.
Hold on, let me. I think they're saying right now that what I'm looking at, because I have it muted. I think they're saying like he seems like Biden is leading in Georgia, Cobb County. It looks like he's at 63%. The Trump's 35. I'm just reading numbers off the
Yeah,
screen. So I
yeah,
mean, everybody,
you're right.
anybody out
I
there
saw
that's
the same thing.
watching, please, if you can, just give Malika and I some numbers. So go ahead, Al. Finish it, and then
Yeah.
Booker finish up after Al. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, I went to the one in the PetSmart in Flowery Branch, and you could tell, cashier, red face masks. Um, you could tell that they were a little not as friendly as the other place. And Georgia's just a friendly. After Virginia, everybody's friendly. So, so I just felt, I felt like, wow, I just saw the difference because it was two separate. It was two types of atmospheres. So I just, you feel it. That's the best. That's
Yeah.
Right.
the best way I
What
can say
about
it.
you, Booker? How is North Carolina? Because it's a key place, and there's a lot of. it has a lot of history of racism and stuff like that. So how is North Carolina? Have you felt tension within people, or if not you personally, what have you been hearing out there in North Carolina?
You, I think it depends on where you are. I think you can go to certain locations and you can feel a bit of tension. I know when Trump was first running out here where we live, I was on my way to, I think it was a Walgreens, and there was just this parade of cars with the Confederate flag. And it was, I mean, there were probably a good 15 or 20 that drove past me. And I remember coming back and telling my wife, I said, you know what, I should have pulled out my cell phone. I said, there was just this long line of cars with Confederate flags. And this was how the atmosphere was starting to stir, in 2016. Since that time, I haven't seen as much of that. I don't know. I don't really know why. I haven't seen a lot of that. But I do think you feel the tension with people, and it's certain places or certain environments where you kind of feel that tension. I don't know what this pandemic has done for people during this time. I think the pandemic, the virus COVID-19 is probably playing a huge part on how people are perhaps seeing this particular presidency and the information that he had that he did not share. So, you've got those strong Trump supporters here, and then you've got those people who perceive Trump. They don't like the negative things, the negative vibes we get from them. They're seeing something else. But this pandemic has created, I think, in some way, a little bit of a distrust from 2016.
So, everybody, just give me a second. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my lovely host, Malika Forster. If you like it, share it. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to it. We're just trying to be informative. Al's been probably one of the original members of Real Talk with me when my mother passed away. So I appreciate him being here and sharing his knowledge on what's happening in Atlanta. Booker, we appreciate you giving us some North Kakalaki love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You gotta you can't say North Carolina. You gotta say North Kakalaki, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you got a little sippy sip, right?
That's right.
So,
hey,
Booker,
we appreciate being here.
Yeah, exactly. So, Booker and Al, let me ask you a question. Did your wives vote already? And if you want to, I'm not holding anybody to the wall against this.
Bring them on in.
You can bring them in too, but do you mind divulging who you voted for, or if that's too personal?
No, it's quite all right. I've been voting as an independent voter since the second election of George W. Bush.
Okay.
Good. The first election in which George Bush lost to Al Gore, I switched and became an independent voter.
Absolutely.
It was the Chads that did that for me.
Okay.
And I've been an independent voter since then. This particular election, I tend to lean more toward the Democratic side of things, but I mainly look for leadership, and I look for leadership that you don't have to be perfect, but that shows some kind of integrity, that cares about the people, humanity.
Right.
And so this year, I cast my vote for Biden and Harris. Trump just bothers me in so many ways. And a lot of times I sit back and try to reason. I've got friends from high school that are strong supporters of Trump. And I went to a high school in West Virginia, just a small high school, not a lot of minorities in the high school, and some of them are very strong supporters of Trump. But what I look for when they when they talk about why they're voting for them, I don't really get the reason. a lot of people say he's strong on the economy, NAFTA, all these types of things, but he really hasn't done much. If you really look at it, he really hasn't done much with those. I think I think 60 some percent of a product needed to be built here with the original NAFTA program. And he only upped that by a little bit to about 73%. But other than that, he really didn't change it much. And he put another name on it. But I think that's kind of how Trump does things. He's like, he takes what's working, then he puts his name on it, and then he makes everybody believe that he's done it. So right. I'm tired of the deception. I'm kind of tired of the lies that you get. I didn't vote for him the first time.
Right.
I couldn't vote for the way he went about things. Just so many of the lies that went during the first campaign in 2016. But I voted for Biden and Harris, and I'm hoping that that they can pull it out. I'm nervous.
Hold on, yeah, and stay with me on that. Al, I'm going to come to you. Hold on, everybody. This is just Real Talk Chronicles. This is Malika Forster, your host, and I'm your co-host, Bill Forster. Shout out to everybody that's chiming in here tonight. I'm just trying to give you some shout outs. Wayne, Junis, Sheila, Hunter College in the building, JC, Harlem Jim, I see you. Michelle Betha, what's going on? Tina, I see you again, of course. I'm going to read some of your comments. Kevin Graves, I see you. Marlene, Leonardo, what's up? Young Pro, Darren Joseph, I see you, partner. This is Real Talk Chronicles, man. This is what's happening. Kevin Graves said the presidential election is important, but my attention is on the lawmakers in both houses and Congress, especially in the Senate. That's a very good point. KC Baker, I see you. E-Papers in the building. You can track your ballot. Okay, that's a good thing. E-Papers, give us some insight on that, tracking your ballot. What's up, Diana? I see you, sis, in the building. Marquita said, my man had to vote up here in Albany, and it was dead up here, too. And he is a Republican, it's a Republican zone. Okay, well, these things are good. Everybody, this is something that we are going through. You said something about being nervous. Al, I'm going to ask you again. I have somebody waiting in the wings, but take your time on it. I ask you both, of course, like it, share it to your page. Go to my page or Malika's page and share this so everybody can out here and see that this is right here. This is our presidential election special edition of Real Talk Chronicles. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of people out here talking, but not everybody talking real, right?
That's so true.
So, Al, give us some insight. Oh, you want something?
I just wanted to ask my cousin, Tina wanted to know if there's been any looting in either Atlanta or North Carolina, because we've been talking about that a lot up here. It's been going on a lot in Philly. Has that happened down there in either place?
I didn't hear about anything. So it's been quiet where I'm at.
Yes, same thing here. I haven't heard of any looting or anything yet. Hopefully there won't be any, but so far it's pretty quiet.
Right. Yes, let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started again in Philly, after sadly a young man was shot to death. I think it was the middle of last Wednesday, actually, because we were doing the podcast. So that's when it started back up again in Philly. And as a result, there are a lot of businesses that have since boarded up just to protect their storefronts. So
now we did have looting here after the George Floyd incident.
Right.
So and we had it in several cities, Fayetteville, Raleigh, Durham. Yes.
Yeah, that was definitely all over the place. And I was going to say, Booker, you've been to the art gallery, so you know what it's like down there on that strip. So we've just been praying. What we didn't actually board up, but we cleared the windows and just kind of went dark. And just prayers are in full effect that it stays quiet down there as well. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so Al, like I said, putting you on the spot, but not if you don't have to. If you want to say who you voted for, and did your wife vote yet?
Yeah, she did early voting as well. She voted for Biden, I voted for Kanye West. Now, no, I'm joking. I voted for Biden. I voted.
Hey, Bill, Al voted for Kanye. No, just
Yeah, I
kidding.
know. He think he want to be in his videos. I get it. I know.
Yeah. I voted for Biden. My daughter voted for Biden.
Okay.
However, just like Booker, I'm a registered Democrat, and I've always been a registered Democrat, right? However, I'm going to register as a independent because
Absolutely.
there are some things that I believe in the Republican Party, and there's some things I believe in the Democrat Party. So,
And Al, we're going to talk about that too, maybe in another segment, because we are anybody out there who doesn't know right now, Al is my former partner in the law enforcement. And, people have to understand that the law enforcement mentality, and they're just people in this world that we have to understand. We can have mixed views, like we can have some conservative ideology and we can have some democratic ideology, because people fail to realize that because we were law enforcement, we can't just think on a conservative plateau. We still think of our skin tone. You understand what I'm saying? So that's important that we express that notion. I have somebody I'm going to bring in, Al. You're going to, and Booker, Al, you probably will remember this young lady, but I just want to read some comments real quick. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host and my co-host, my wife, Malika Foster. Like it, share it, subscribe to it, please. Lucky had said something so nice. I appreciate what you said, Lucky. He said he wants to thank me and my lovely wife for what we're using our platform for. I can honestly say your topic of discussions are part of our daily life. I appreciate that. Harlem Jim said her and her mother, they got in and out. I appreciate that. Please, Harlem Jim, tell your mother I said hello. What is she, 90 what? Bless her heart. Her vote counts. Marquetta, if you are a New Yorker, everyone pretty much knew the fool wasn't going to be a good president. It was mainly the South that put him in office. They was just talking on TV how the president, his strongest supporters are non-educated people. Okay, enough said. I'll move on. Lucky said we shouldn't expect looting or chaos, but if we look at the underlying message being sent by businesses boarding up that want the rioting, and that's what the politicians want. Just my opinion. Let me finish. I got to see more. It says, just my opinion. That's the message I'm thinking. That's what's being done. Absolutely, Lucky. Marquette said, I'm not sure Biden's going to be all that great, but anyone can get Trump out. What's so funny? That's true, and that might not be true. But the bottom line is, the one thing is, I think he's much more presidential than this clown, and that's my personal feelings. Diana said NYP unions encourages everyone to vote Republican, not go on with that blue all that way. Biden Harris. Exactly, Tina. Hillbillies and rednecks. Exactly. No disrespect to our white people that love us, but that's just what we feel right now. And this next person we're going to bring in, Al, you probably recognize her. What's going on?
Carla.
Oh, no, you don't. I thought it was somebody else. Carla in the building.
I don't know her.
No, Al doesn't know her. I'm waiting for somebody else to come in, Al, that you would know. But Carla, hold that thought. We're getting a up post right now from a election poll. Hold on. Go ahead, June. Give it to us.
Okay.
What you got for us?
Good evening, everybody. Okay, what I learned is that this is abnormal for a primary. I spoke to a few people. They said it's never been like this before. They're feeling like everybody has been concerned about what's been happening with the White House and the things he's been doing with the post office and trying to upset the election. Therefore, everybody came in early and did early voting. We even had people come in and drop off their ballots in a box that we have here. So that's what people are saying. They said this has never happened. It's always crowded.
Yeah, because what's so funny, I'll ask you all, and I'll come to you, Carla, first, since you just came in. No, June, I'll ask you too, since you definitely just gave us that insight. I think everybody, because this is the first time I've ever did early voting.
Me too.
And I think we were all scared that we didn't want any problems on election day.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, June, like, that's the energy that you're getting, right? Like, nobody
Yep.
wanted to not get their vote in. They wanted to
They
get
didn't
their
want,
vote in.
and they didn't want to hear what happened. Remember in 2008 with Obama, 2004, and it
Yeah.
was the machines were broken and all kind of lines so long, and nobody wanted to deal with that this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Carla, what do you think?
Mhm.
Welcome to
So
the show too, please. Thank you.
thank
Mm-hmm.
you for having me. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, hello. So
Hello.
I definitely agree. I think that the reason why it looked somewhat deserted at the polls today is because people took advantage of early voting and they took advantage of mail-in ballots and using drop boxes.
Right.
So both my mother and myself, we requested mail-in ballots. And my mother actually ended up mailing in her ballot last Monday via the post office, but she received a notification that her ballot was received on Tuesday, the next day. So I happened to just drop my ballot off at a drop box. And
Okay.
I actually went last Wednesday to drop my ballot off at the drop box. And the line for early voting was around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean around the corner on both sides. So we were voting at an elementary school, and where they had the entrance out of the little courtyard parking lot area, they had people lined up in two different directions. And both lines were down the street and around the corner. And that was for early voting. So I think a lot of people decided they didn't want to be disenfranchised by shenanigans
Right.
on election day.
Mm-hmm.
So they did early voting and they dropped off their mail-in ballots in drop boxes or sent it through the post office early enough that they knew it was going to be marked as received.
Hold that thought, Carla. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Foster, with my lovely wife, Malika Foster. You should know the last name already. This is Real Talk Chronicles. Like it, share it, spread it. Diane, you said he's struggling in Florida. I don't know if I'm reading accurately. Biden right now is at 50%, and Trump is at 49. I think Trump is ahead in Kentucky. Exactly. But anyway, it doesn't make a difference. Al, let me ask you a question. In the point of what Carla was just talking about, the mail-in ballots. Did you see security? Because at a certain place, I think where was it in a certain city that they had security starting to be at monitoring the mail-in ballots. June, I don't know. Are y'all still walking? Are people still walking in with mail-in ballots? But I'm gonna go to Al. I want to ask Al, what is he seeing out there in Atlanta, and then I'll come to you.
Well, before I picked up my daughter to go vote, I actually went by a closer location to my house to see how the atmosphere was. That particular place I went, I think it was Bogan Park. The line was crazy. It was nuts. So that's why I just went to pick her up, and we went to north of us, which is Gainesville, which is about 20 minutes away from us.
Okay.
But that first place was bananas. It was bananas.
Really?
And I don't know about anything about mail-in ballots or anything like that, and I didn't see any security like that. Hell of a, everybody is Trump and Pence, flags on the black pickup trucks, red pickup trucks, Confederate flags. It's nuts. I'm pretty sure Booker can understand that because we both live in the South. So, you're gonna see that. So every time, it's funny. Every time there's a Confederate flag, my daughter's like, "There's a Confederate flag. You wanted to move here."
Yeah, and you know what's so funny? I'm glad you said that, June. Just hold on with us if you can. But I want to ask you, Booker, Al. But I'm gonna start with you, Al, and I'm gonna ask you, Carla. Just real quick, because I want everybody to get something in. If you can just give me a few words, why'd you vote for Biden, or why'd you vote for whomever you voted for, real quick? And I just want to go to the next person.
Okay.
Al, start with you.
I voted for Biden because basically I felt that he was the better human being. I feel like Trump puts a lot of gasoline on all the crap and racism that's going on out here. So the bottom line is I just think that Biden is the better human, period.
Thank you. Booker?
Yeah, I voted for Biden because I personally feel like we're losing governance.
Yes.
Just the way government should run. And, a lot of people, they have this idea that we need to go outside. But I think government helps us kind of stay balanced. And I went with Biden because I felt we would get better governance.
Well, appreciate that. Carla?
I voted for Biden as well. And part of that is, like everybody's saying, it's the need to return to some normalcy. It's the need to not have this divisiveness that is actually tearing our country apart emotionally. And I don't agree with the policies that Trump, supposedly espouses, because for the last 4 years, he's really had no policy.
Absolutely.
He's just kind of, spouted out different things here and there. But regardless, I'm for protecting the environment. I think we need to work with companies and what they're doing in order to protect the environment for everybody, for our future generations, for this future world. But also just to have somebody in office that is competent. I mean,
absolutely.
Like you said, it could have been Kermit the Frog or Miss Piggy that was running against Trump. And I think that whoever are the puppet masters behind the two of them probably was more qualified to run this country than that person that's in office right now.
Absolutely.
But I honestly believe that Biden is more than competent to run the country. He has the experience, but more importantly, he has the compassion, the empathy. He is willing and knows how to work with other people. Now, I'm not paid by the campaign, but I'm just saying.
But you sounded real good. You sounded real good.
No choice as far as I am concerned. And my vote was not just a vote against Trump. It was a definitive vote for Biden as the better candidate.
Appreciate you on that. That's what's up. June, give me some insight. What did you like? What I don't know who you voted for. If you want to tell us who you voted for, I appreciate it. If not, I understand it. But
I did want to share one thing that I noticed. There were a lot of first-time voters. A lot, young and old. And when I say old, like 80, late 80s. Voting for the first time, and we clapped and cheered every one of them on. We go first time if they were 18 or if they were 88. We cheered and loved them and thanked them. That's what we did here.
That was awesome. Yeah. That is a beautiful thing. I just want to shout out everybody that's chiming in and giving me their insight. I see you, Sensei Felix Vasquez. How are you, my brother? Appreciate you. Celeste said, I think many people voted early and chose mail-in out of concern for COVID. That's a big point too. And we talked about that. Many early voting sites had long lines. James said Agent Orange and his minions tried to stack the deck to win by sabotaging the PO. Exactly. And I told all my people, if you do mail-in balloting, take your ballot directly to the polling place. That's an absolute good positive thing. Let me ask you a question. What was your reasoning for voting for Biden? Because I know who you voted for. I know she won't go to bed tonight. That's how she So what was your reason?
I have a very, very long list of reasons why I do not think Donald Trump should be president. I mean, I was devastated just like a gazillion other people almost 4 years ago when Hillary lost. So here we are again, and it's election time. I agree with everything everyone has said, that it's not just and everyone has something, right? Because I remember about a month or so ago, people were digging up dirt on Biden and being very vocal about why they thought, Biden shouldn't not be our next president. And I'm like, cut that out. Now is not the time. It doesn't matter what he did or didn't do 20, 30, 40 years ago. The thing is what he can do now for the country. And we are in big trouble now under the leadership of Trump. We're in huge trouble. So, I agree. It's time for us to regain a sense of leadership and hope. The COVID thing is way out of control, and it didn't have to be this way.
Yeah, if he's taking
So many
it
people are
seriously,
lost.
exactly.
He's disrespectful. Watch what he has done to the reporters, especially the Black female reporters. White reporters also. I mean, he would just blatantly cut them off.
Right.
I have no respect for him as a man, as a human being, and definitely not as a president. He has to go.
Exactly.
He has to go.
And I'm going to chime in a few seconds. I just want to shout out everybody. Andre said people are funny, like voting for Biden is going to stop divisiveness or racism. It's not going to stop it, Andre, but the bottom line is it may want to quell it like it was before Obama got into office. I mean, the bottom line is I really don't want to know that you're that racist towards me, because in any workplace, I think anybody here knows that the one things you didn't talk about was race, religion, and politics. But right now, people are right here are just saying whatever they want to say, and they're showing their true colors. And you know what? Showing your true colors is only going to bring out a anger, a certain mentality, because Trump makes people feel like they can win the fight.
Well, he's an agitator. I mean, look what he did at the debate when he told the Proud Boys to stand by.
Yeah.
Who does that? What president does something like that? So, Dre, no one is saying that, Biden is going to end racism. I don't think anyone even closely insinuated something like that.
Right.
But the bottom line is there has been just a consistent tone of negativity, of racism. Even in the workplace, I noticed a shift when Trump came into office.
Right.
I'm like, oh, certain people walking around here have a whole lot of extra kahunas, right? That they're showing. The true colors were coming out, and it didn't feel good, and it wasn't right. No matter what color people are, everybody wants the same thing. We all want to earn a good living. We all want to make sure that our families are safe and healthy.
Absolutely.
We all want our businesses to be good. That's everybody across the board. It's not a black-white thing. Not at all. So,
so right now, just to give you some insight, what they're saying is Florida
tied.
It's almost tied. Donald's leading by 18,000 points votes. Another place they just showed, I missed it by accident, and I saw Biden that was leading. So this is Real Talk Chronicles, and this is what we're talking about. Kevin Graves, Pastor Graves said, "I don't feel sure that they can lead us through the COVID-19, racial unrest, and economic uncertainty. President Trump doesn't come across as someone who can reach the masses with compassion and empathy. His oratorial skills need development." Absolutely. Oratory. Yeah. Diane said Biden has great leadership. He was under President Barack's wing. He has integrity, humility, and has empathy for the people of the United States and knows policies. What's up, McMillan? How are you? Former 2-8 brother in the house. This is what it is, man. Celeste, I think many people voted. Okay, I read that. Shout out. This is Real Talk Chronicles. Everybody, appreciate you. We're waiting for some other people to
comment.
Okay.
Can I make a quick comment for the person, Andre? I think was his name. So, I'm sorry that you feel so pessimistic, but there's a difference between a man who does not recognize that racism exists and a man who does recognize that there is racism, that there are inequalities among certain groups of people, and that there are policies that need to be enacted and put together in order to try to mitigate some of these wide disparities in income, in healthcare, between different groups of people based on the color of their skin. And there is no way that you can compare Biden to Trump when you're talking about racism. And I understand that everybody's saying, no, Biden's not going to hopefully become president, and then the country is going to change overnight. It's going to take a long time. But the fact that you have somebody in there that at least wants to try to make things more equitable and wants to try to get the country back to some kind of normalcy, you can't ask for much more than that. How much he'll be able to do? Well, that also depends on what happens with the Senate, because they hold a lot of power.
And hold that thought, Carla. Hold that thought.
More
Also,
power
with all these voting, people who are voting, we might get a shift in the Senate, and it might come back to the Democratic Party. I appreciate everything you said, Carla. That was so on point with what you just said.
Yeah.
You articulated yourself. Andre, if you ever want to chime in, let me know. We'll send you the link. You can come in and converse about your things. Tina said Julius Erving was on the news by one of my favorite players and announced that he voted for the first time. That means a lot.
Oh, wow.
It does.
Celeste said Trump has made the white supremacists feel empowered to spread their rhetoric. That's awesome. You know what I'm saying? This is what Susan Vega, what's going on, sis? How are you? She said, my son, first time voter, and my daughter, second time presidential election vote, drove all the way to New Orleans to vote in person because they did not trust the mail-in system. That's awesome.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Kevin Graves said, tell the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by was a vile threat. Exactly. You can bring that noise if you want to. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my lovely wife, Malika Forster. We have Carla in the building. We have Alex Bryson. We have Booker in the building. We have June on site, on location. We're waiting for some other people to come in. You know what's so funny? The one thing I remember, and just to going back to what somebody asked me, what my thought process was, Andre had asked me too. It was a good question that he asked me. He says, win, lose, or draw, Biden or Trump, do you does it make a difference? I said economically I'm fine, I'm okay, but I said the lack of presidential integrity and the way he has disrespected the Oval Office and has not and been so divisive and not done anything to pacify the situation. And Al will definitely know what I'm talking about. As a former police officer, we're here to de-escalate certain things. He has not de-escalated anything. Yeah. I heard him on the news today, and he pissed me off. You know, he was trying to act. So they said, "Well, President," they said, "Well, you know, what are you telling people that didn't vote for you?" He said, "Oh, well, you know, we're going to talk about, you know, healing and calm." But he says, then he goes, this is when you show the narcissistic person that he is. He goes right into it, and just a little boy that he is. He says, "Oh yeah, well, you the news, you're not going to give us any credit for anything we do anyway." Yo, she asked you a question about some healing, and you're going to talk about, you want to start throwing the blame game. That's why I don't like you behind anyway.
Absolutely.
Andre said, he said, I'm not comparing Biden to Trump, just stating the fact that while America ain't trying to make it fair, they know exactly what they're doing. Marquetta said Trump is a dirty, racist businessman. He fights dirty and don't care. He runs the country the same. His goal is to win anyway. That's true. That is definitely true. Mm-hmm. Diane said he's a con man and can't stand him. You know, this is so thing. I'm not even going to ask you the question that is probably the hardest question I would ask all of you. If we lost tonight,
ask it, Bill.
No, I don't want to ask.
it.
I don't want to ask. I don't want to put that. No, Carla, I don't want to put that energy.
You gotta ask it.
I don't want to put that energy in the air. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I want to stay positive with it. Right now, it looks like Virginia. Donald Trump is up in Virginia, and I mean, you know, these are, I think, certain places that we think, well, wait a minute. If we're looking at the numbers right now, Biden is up 30-18. Biden is ahead in Florida right now. Okay, 49.7 to Trump 49.3. So, you know, this is the thing that we are doing, and this is what is happening right now. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm waiting for my cousin Kendra to call. Kendra to call in from the DMV area. I want to find out what's going on out there. Anybody out there that you want to call in, if you're from another city or state or country, wherever, please, if you want to give us some insight of what voting is. Let me ask you a question, and I'll ask this to all of you right now. What did it mean to you to vote this election? And I'll start with you, June, and I'll go to you, Booker, Al, and I'll finish with you, Carla.
To me, it meant to unite this country. I am sick of this country being divided the way it is. I don't even want to go to my high school reunion anymore because they a bunch of Trump supporters. I'm just like, I can't. We're on Facebook fighting each other, and it's like, I can't even do it. And we didn't have that before. It's so terrible, and this was so important for me to get out there and do my part. That's why I worked the polls for the first time. I wanted to make sure everything went smooth, everything was right, and I knew that a lot of the elderly people could not come out because of coronavirus, concerns. So I did my part as best I could.
Awesome. Booker?
Yeah. For me, I felt like this was my opportunity to participate in possibly saving this democracy. I feel that the country could really go down the wrong path if we get him another 4 years. I hate to see what 4 years from now would look like with Trump, and I think that was really my motivation. Is our democracy is at stake, and just everything that that we fought for over the years, from Reconstruction to the Civil Rights Movement to today, just the idea of seeing how we've kind of fallen back to that place where we're fighting for our right to vote and perhaps being disenfranchised in some way. So I think it's our democracy. It's what we have and how it could possibly collapse.
Exactly. Al?
Well, I voted because basically I'm exercising my right to vote, and I feel like my grandmother she died at 98. She would wake up and snatch me into the grave if I didn't vote. One.
Exactly.
Two, I have a little well, let's put it this way. If Biden wins, that's great. But more importantly, I really believe that our culture of African American people, Black people, need to really take 2020 and it's time to unite because we have never done that, and that's why we are on the bottom. We're on the bottom of the poll, basically. But that's a whole nother Real Talk Chronicles session right there. So if Trump wins, you know what? Maybe now Black people will unite and we'll get our act together and be participants as far as owning some stuff and doing for ourselves, instead of begging people to do it,
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm going to come to you, Carla, but like I just want to read what a few people said. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host with my lovely wife, Malika Foster, my co-host. Kevin said, hopefully the Democratic Party has learned from the previous election results and made the necessary adjustments. Absolutely. Diana said, the election has taught me who people really they are. Colors came out. Exactly. Tina, he has promoted separatism. Kevin said the representative democracy can work for anyone. Celeste said, when you think about it closely, many of his policies were steering us back to the Jim Crow era, like leaving many decisions up to the individual states. That is a great point that you just made there, sister.
Mm-hmm.
It is so good. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my lovely wife, Malika Forster. We are in the Real Talk Chronicles section of the pre-election, the election, a special edition show tonight. Right now, this is what it is. What are you feeling?
I've been up since 5 a.m. You know how you are on Christmas Day when we were little kids, and it's like, oh, it's Christmas, let me get up early. Like, I literally have been up since 5. Anxious. Anxious, just thinking about the day and, trying to think of a cool post to put up, just to encourage people to get out there and vote, like any little thing we can do. And something I did today that I haven't done this whole time is I actually replied to one of the volunteers who reached out to me about voting. Usually I just hit delete, But today I was just like, yeah, you know, I already voted. She's like, well, you text some people, whatever. I said, I'm already on it. You know, so we had a nice little conversation. It wasn't as if I was bored and didn't have anything to do, but I felt like, you know what, she's volunteering her time. Most people probably ignore her. Let me just do a little bit and write back. So that was my little thing.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
I chatted with the volunteer. But
Okay.
yeah, it's
All right.
all good.
Carla, what's your take on things?
So I always exercise my right to vote. And I've been voting ever since I could vote. My first time voting was in college, and I voted on campus away from, I didn't know if I told everybody, I'm in Philadelphia. So, you know, because of ancestors that either died, were beaten up, were disenfranchised in any other kind of way, and could not vote, I'm always going to exercise my right to vote. Now, unfortunately, we have a two-party system. So all you people out there voting for Kanye, I'm sorry, but that's a vote you threw away. Whoever is on the ballot, it's about making the best decision for what you believe in and what you believe, the direction you believe the country should go in between those two people that are on the ballot. It doesn't matter how many other third-party candidates are there. The race is really between these two people, and you try to make the best decision possible.
Mm-hmm.
It is this election waiting for this day to come.
Mm-hmm.
I've never anticipated an election so much. And when I say that we have been traumatized for the last 4 years, I don't care.
Hold on, Carla. I got something to say right now. It seems like Pennsylvania, Biden is kicking Trump's behind, and Chattanooga, Biden was winning.
It was like 74%.
Yeah.
Right?
Lorain County, Biden is winning. Ohio, Biden is winning 56-42. What is that county? 61-37.
I'm gonna do my little happy dance every time. Yeah, that's right, Carla.
Something. Pennsylvania, Biden is 51,000 to Trump's 12,000, 79% to 18. Wow.
All right, but be careful because those could be Democratic counties coming in.
Well, yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, yeah, I'm just reading them off right now.
Let me finish my thought. When I think about the last 4 years, I feel as if America has been traumatized, but especially people of color, immigrants, Black people. If you think about what has been building up to this point, from Trayvon Martin and before, and from George Floyd and after, and having this in our face for 4 years. We've already been traumatized from what has been going on in the country over the last couple of decades, trying to take us back to the 60s and before. But to have someone that truly epitomized wanting to disenfranchise Black people, to go back to treating Black people and other people of color like second class citizens, having to deal with that over the last 4 years, and now finally getting to this day, believe me, all day, what I felt was hope. I had the hope that at least we could be hopefully turning the corner on this madness. And like I said before, I know things aren't going to magically become better tomorrow, and things are magically going to be fixed and the way I would like it within a couple months or even a year or two. But if we can stop the madness going on right now and stop going down what I think is the most destructive path that our country has been on since the Civil War. So this day, I woke up hopeful, and I'm hoping that I can go to bed hopeful, even though it's not going to be over by the end of the night, no matter what kind of states they're calling for whoever, because there was such a large mail-in vote count. But I'm just hopeful, and that makes me feel better because we need to talk about mental health. And my mental health has been in jeopardy for a couple years now because of what has been going on. So I'm hoping.
Well, you know what's so funny? I appreciate that. That was very insightful. Right now, I'm just going to read off certain things to you that what I'm seeing. Trump has Georgia. Biden has Ohio.
That's major.
Pennsylvania. We have Biden has Pennsylvania. He has Pennsylvania by he has 79% to 18%. Wow. 51,000 to 12,000. Pinellas County, President Biden has that by a few votes. Right now, when they talk about the electoral things, Biden has, I think, 30 cities or 26 or whatever the numbers are right now. Georgia, Trump has 424, and Biden has 348, 54%, 44. Georgia's a hard-headed state, right, Al?
Yeah, it could go either way. It could go either way. In Georgia, I mean, basically, this is the thing. Half the people wear masks and half of them don't. So basically, if you're a Democrat, you wear a mask. If you're a Republican, you don't. That's how it seems like it is here.
Oh wow! Hold on, everybody.
I mean,
my cousin was supposed to come. Hold on, Al. My cousin was supposed to come on, but she just sent us a message. She says, "I'm catching you live in and out, but a few of us are afraid of any impact on the local hospitals if rioting happens. And after the election, we've been under so much organizational stress that this
year from
go ahead and finish it. I just found it.
She said, we've been under so much organizational stress this year from not just the virus, but having to take all these precautions, being as though they're this close to the White House. It's exhausting. So she's a nurse down there in DC, I guess, in the DMV area.
Be careful if you get a chance, you can log on, you can come on, please do. If not, definitely don't jeopardize, of course, your job or anything. Just be careful. Kevin Graves said we have the power. The Black community in 2017 accounted for 1.2 trillion in consumer spending. This is projected to increase to 1.5 trillion by 2021. So we are not poor. We need to learn how to allocate the money properly and invest in our own infrastructure. You are absolutely right, Kevin. And what's so funny? It's just crazy that people don't know that we need to come together as people of color. I'm sure there aren't any Republicans that will come on and tell me that they voted Republican. If you want to, you please more than likely can come on and just enlighten us and let us know your feelings.
I would love to hear her perspective. I mean, and there's a lot of Republicans who are not voting Republican in this election as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I would love to hear from someone like that.
Well, I will be asking Kevin tomorrow.
I'm sure
in the Real Talk Chronicles tomorrow. I'll be with my co-host Kevin Branzetti, and Kevin is a Republican, and I will ask him how he's feeling about this, because the bottom line is I've seen a lot of Republicans talk about how they don't like what the president is doing, but I don't know if they're stuck between just voting Republican because they are so in the place, or they are going to go against. Right now, I have my cousin coming in out of the DMV area. I know she's working hard, but I want to.
Are you okay with staying on, or does anyone need to drop? It's totally fine with us either way.
Everybody's good. Okay, everybody's good.
So
all right.
If you give me
June's gonna
5 minutes,
drop off.
Okay.
All right, June. June, come back when you can, June, if you can. All right.
Hey,
Bill. I'm gonna come back to see if there's anything going on in there. Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
All right.
What Bill,
you say, give me about 3 minutes. I'm gonna try to get a Republican to see if they can come on the line.
All right, and just come back, Al. Okay.
I'll come back.
All right. Cool. Who is that? All right. Everybody, what's up? I got my cousin in the building. I got my cousin Kendra in the building. Kendra Mose. that last name is going to change real soon. We ain't going to talk
Yeah.
about that right now. But blessings. We got the family in the building. So Kendra,
Yeah.
tell us what's going on out in the DMV area.
Man, we just got finished 2 weeks ago, not barricading, but having the hospital on high alert for a riot, a police involved riot 2 weeks ago. And here we are. It's like we can't catch a break. We just can't catch a break. It's
Wow.
exhausting. So we're just worried about, being this close to the White House. We're already getting the emails about, the election and how to stay safe. We have to carry a letter around in case we're stopped. It's just
Really?
a lot. Yes, I have a letter in my bag that we have to print out and show along with our badge if we get stopped along the way, saying, where are you going,
Oh, wow.
So we're tired. We're very tired.
Kendra, I know you don't know, but I know the president put a fence around the White House. He couldn't do it around Mexico, but he did it around the White House. Okay,
Right.
I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Magically.
I ain't mad at you, homeboy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You was gonna get your fence hella hot water.
I know. That went up instantly.
Yeah. So I mean, give me some insight on the pollings out there, and whatever whatever our family has told us, and from the DMV area was a pollings early. Did you early vote?
I did mine by mail. Yep, got it right in there. I didn't have any problems myself. I didn't see anyone guarding where I was, but I did hear people say that theirs were with somebody standing outside or around. So I got mine in. I haven't really heard too much scrabble in this area, which is good with, ridiculous things happening at the polls. So far, those have been relatively smooth on this end. We're just worried about the impact of either side, people upset on either side. How is that going to impact the hospital? We're going to have to see people, another war or what?
Let me ask you a question. Did our family have any problems with early voting, or did they vote early, or did they just vote today?
They voted early, and they didn't have any problems. My family didn't have any problems with voting early, so that was a good thing.
Okay, hold on, Kendra, go ahead.
My cousin Tina, she asked, what happens with the people in the hospital with the virus? Have they had the opportunity to vote? Just asking,
That's a
since
good
there
question.
are thousands. Excellent question.
That is an excellent question. And those who are on our isolation floors, what? I'll actually have to find out. I didn't realize, because a lot of people are in there for extended stays, since this thing has happened. And that is a very good question. I'll actually have to find out tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Want to read any more?
So Kevin Graves said they're afraid to anger the president's base and their constituents who are Trump supporters. And then Andre Richardson, from the antics and incompetence that Trump displayed in the last 4 years, and people are still rooting for him. I got looting on the mind, got to get it off. and people are still rooting for him is proof that white America doesn't give a damn about the concern of an ex-slave. Hold on, I lost it. look how it expanded.
Yeah, go ahead.
Doesn't give a damn about the concern of an ex-slave population, foreigners, or racial equality. If they are not caring about the treatment they are giving their own women who are their mothers and sisters, what would they care about anything else that concerns us? Not that's, what do you say? Not that's real talk.
Well, Booker, I was just reading something. I think, what is it? Is there Wake County out there near you?
Wake County.
They were just talking about how I missed the numbers real quick, but Biden is doing his thing out there in Wake County.
Yeah, the thing that's interesting in North Carolina is that North Carolina has a lot of transplants, people who moved here from northern states, and counties that traditionally would have been Republican or red counties are now becoming more blue counties. I know just in this small town that I'm in, I've got people here that have moved here from Michigan, from New York, from New Jersey, from Connecticut, from Ohio. So even I myself, I've been here since 2006 from Ohio, by way of Washington D.C. So North Carolina tends to have a lot of transplants from northern cities who've come to work in the Research Triangle, and so you're starting to see a shift in how certain things are going down here.
Right. Yeah, and that's Charlotte too, right?
Exactly, Charlotte as well.
Charlotte.
Exactly.
Very much so.
A blue city and a red state.
Exactly. A state that used to be kind of red, now it kind of teeters between red and blue. And I think that's one reason why Obama was able to win here too, when he first ran.
Interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah, I personally went to school with someone who moved maybe almost 20 years ago. Her and her family moved down there for the same thing, for work. She works in the banking industry, and so that helped as well. I want to read Paula's message. She said, here in Texas, my sister wants me to take down my Biden-Harris lawn sign because she thinks some Republicans will firebomb my house.
Well, we're waiting.
Wow.
Paula, if you're on, we're waiting to see if you can come on.
Yeah.
Paula's trying to come in. She's in Texas. We're trying to get some insight of what's happening in Texas. So, Paula, we sent you the link. Go to your inbox, holla at your boy and your girl. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
See what's going on.
curious because that's something that we talked about too. And someone asked us, "Oh, you want to sign?" This was a couple weeks ago. We're like, no, no thanks. Did any of you put signage up in front of your house?
I would have if I'd have got one.
Oh,
Really?
we could give you
But I'm in a safe area for that.
right, right.
No.
Well, you know what's so funny, and where our PA place, you know, I personally, just from a security standpoint, I didn't want perception to supersede looking at the individuals. I had no problems. I think, due to real talk, everybody knows I speak out and I say what I say and I feel what I feel. But the bottom line is dealing from a law enforcement standpoint or any person's of a civil servant mentality, or just people driving by, or God forbid this goes crazy, that I didn't want people to just to sway and say, oh, okay, he's a Democrat in their ideology, so they're going to throw something at my house, and I had to throw something back at them, something hot. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm going to throw. I'm going to throw something real hot. You know what I'm saying? So because you're not going to disrespect my place. But with that being said, I've been very outspoken via social media on who I'm supporting, and that's not a problem to me. And like you said, Carla, I appreciate that, the fact that you said you can say that, because we're when we're not in New York. I mean, New York is a predominantly Democratic place, but here, when we outside of New York, that there's mixed. Like, we could go one house over, it's this way, one house over. So right now, hold that thought, everybody. We got Paula coming in from via Texas, and we're gonna find out what's going on with her. What's up, sis?
Hey, Bill. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
So, we just read some of the things that you said, and you just missed your former 2A brother. He's coming back. Shout out to the all law enforcement that's rocking with us, white, black, Spanish, whomever. We appreciate you all. But Paula, like, you're in Texas. What part of Texas are you in right now?
I live in Cypress, Texas. I'm a little bit northwest of Houston, but I'm still located in Harris County. We it's like one of the largest African American counties in the whole state of Texas. So
Okay.
Harris County, Houston, Austin, San Antonio are major black cities. So we're always blue, but the entire state, all these little, hillbilly towns, they're all red. So believe it or not, they take up more of the state than the big cities.
Okay. Did you early vote, or did you vote today?
I early voted on the very first day.
Good for you. Good for you. What was it like?
It's been extremely crowded.
Really?
Hold that
Yes,
thought
from
for
day
1 second.
one.
Oh, we just lost it.
Okay.
It'll come back. It had the states that Biden won versus what Trump won.
Okay.
Here it is. So it says Biden wins Delaware, D.C., Maryland, Massachusetts, and Vermont, and Trump wins Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Oklahoma.
Okay.
Those are all expected. Those are all expected outcomes.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So
that's breaking news.
This is Real Talk Chronicles, everybody. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my lovely host, Malika Forster. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Bernard Freeman's in the building. Andre Newton is in the building. Darren Joseph, my brother. What's going on? Tina King is in the building. She said, I was not happy about my experience. There was no opinion to use the option to use the machine. My patient had only provisional ballots only. So I had to fill it out and then put them in a red envelope. Wow. Hold on, let me get back to the thing. Let me see.
She had to fill it out and put it in a red envelope. And thankfully, I caught the elderly women writing down the wrong number on my ballot envelope. It was for the person whose name was just before mine. When I pointed it out, she said, "Thank you for catching that." Really? Bottom line is, I did my part and I pray that the ballots were processed correctly. I was proud to exercise my right and do my part.
Shout out to Tina King in the
Wow,
building.
Tina.
Complete chocolate couples, our peoples. We love you guys. So yeah, Paula, everybody, I appreciate
That
you.
is so
We got
crazy.
Book in the house. We got Carla in the house. We got Kendra in the house. You know, Al will be coming back. Carla's from the PA area. Booker's in North Carolina. Kendra is in the DMV area. Malika and I right now, we represent New York and the DMV area. I mean, no, in the PA area. Excuse me. I'm going fast.
All over the place.
I'm just trying to make it happen. trying to get it all out and get it all in at the same time. This is a beautiful thing right now. We are trying to get rid of one. Kendra and Paula, I'll ask you two, if you want to divulge who you voted for, you can tell us and give us your insight on what it felt like to vote this election. And I'll start with you, Kendra, because I know Kendra, are you working now?
No, I'm off right now.
Okay, thank God. All right. All right. Go ahead. So go ahead.
Biden, of course, because I felt like we needed change. We need something positive this year. If nothing else, I just felt like it's just one of those like final laps of the race. You just really want to get a good finish to this year. And I was like, that's one of the reasons why. And I just think that it was so important this year. It's just even more, I felt with everything clouded this year, it was just really important to finish well. So I'm really hoping for good things.
What about the fiance?
Same on his end.
he knew what he was gonna do. Tell my man I said what's up.
Right. I will.
Paula, give us some insight. What's happening? Who'd you vote? If you want to tell us who you voted for. I think I already know, but the world may not know out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I voted Biden. I am a diehard liberal. I vote in every election. For my 18th birthday, my grandmother gave me a voter registration form. So she had always been one of the judges at the polling sites. She always thought it was important to, for your community, for your city, your state, and she, Barbados, and she lived home the rest of her life. And I voted for Biden. I cannot stand Trump and anybody that supports him. I'm sorry to be
You don't got to be sorry. You don't got to be sorry. This is real talk. You don't got to be sorry.
The thing that this man get away with is got me all anxious and
I appreciate you. Paula, if you look to the right of your screen or the right of your screen, you may see Al Frierson. Al Frierson, we got 2H Strong in the house right now. Al, that's Paula Matthews over there. Remember? Yeah, exactly.
What's up, Paula?
Exactly.
Wow.
Shout out to Cynthia
very long
in the
time.
building. Hey from Obama country. What's going on, Cynthia? Harlem Jim, I see you. Lucky, I appreciate you all. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I am with Malika Forster, and I'm your host, Bill Forster. This is Real Talk Chronicles. If you like it, share it, subscribe to it on YouTube. We are live right now. This is a special edition of the presidential election. We are feeling a certain way right now. Everybody here is doing the blue thing. And
I wore a blue shirt and blue pants just to be
absolutely. Well, I got on blue sweats, but I want the white shirt. But you know, this is so great. I see you, Stacy, in the building. What's up? How are you? Everybody, I appreciate you all for chiming in, giving us your time during this election. I think, Paula, I'm going to go to you first, Kendra, Carla, Booker, and if Malika wants to chime in, if not, then I'll go to Al. Just what did it feel like when you voted? Was it a sign of like a woosah, a relief, accomplishment, anger? I know a lot of us are experiencing anxiety right about now. Some of us because we're just so tired of what we see, the divisiveness in the office. So just give us some insight. Give us about 2 minutes so we can share. Everybody can share their answers. So I'll start with you, Kendra, and then Paula, then I'll go to Carla.
I really felt thankful that I have the opportunity to vote. And despite, I heard less at this election of people saying your vote doesn't really matter. And I heard the opposite, which was very refreshing to hear. Last election, a lot of my friends were saying, it doesn't really matter. It's just one vote, that kind of thing. But this election, it seemed like everybody was in. Like everyone I talked to was in on it, and I was thankful for the opportunity to vote. Very thankful this time, and it was a sigh of relief. I got it in. I was like, okay, now I can do something else. But that was my main feeling. Yeah, this time around.
Awesome, Paula. Paula, did you freeze or we got you? I think we froze. We'll come back to Paula. Did I say Carla or say Al? I said Al. I said you saved me for last.
I
Go ahead, Carla.
very relieved.
Okay, we got you back, Paula.
Can
We
you
got
hear
you
me?
back. We got you now. We got you. We can't hear you. Can you hear us? Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Can you hear us?
It's a bad connection.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
We got you now. Go ahead.
Okay. I felt very relieved. I felt some of the stress. I can hear you.
Well, go ahead. Keep talking. Go ahead. There must be a delay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Carla. We'll come back to Paula. Go ahead, Carla.
Thumbs up.
All right. Paula, we're going to come back to you. Go ahead, Carla.
Okay, let me try and move.
Sure. So, I mean, I already talked about this a little bit. So I'm going to just reiterate that I just felt hopeful. I felt hopeful. I was glad the day was here, even though we're not necessarily going to know what the outcome is going to be at the end of the night. But just knowing that we're finally here, we're finally at this point where everybody gets to put in what their decision is, and then we'll just go from there, and we'll just figure out the fallout or whatever what will be at this point. But I feel hopeful. I feel hopeful we're going to take back the country from just this madness that I feel we've been on the brink of for the last couple of years. So I'm hopeful.
Awesome. Booker?
Yeah. I just really felt empowered, I felt that I was really delivering something, that, to help try to stop some of this madness that we're experiencing. So many people have, I think, been dealing with stress issues, the tensions that you feel, the places that you go. And I just felt that this was a moment where that one vote that, as Kendra said, people say it doesn't matter. I felt like it mattered. That one vote is going to matter. And I just felt empowered, and I couldn't wait for that moment to actually deliver that vote to the poll site.
Thank you, Booker. I appreciate that. Al?
Well, I kind of probably want to reiterate what I said before, like Carla did. Um, basically, whoever wins, um, my my hope is that for our people to get together and unite and make a stand like every other culture in this country. Chinese people, Indian people, Jewish people, instead of begging people for things. That's just
Hey,
my
Al,
thing.
let me ask you a question. I'm gonna start with you, and then I'm gonna go to Booker and Carla and come back to Kendra. Um, what do you think about, if you have any insight and knowledge into it? What do you think about the whole Ice Cube thing? I put it on my wall. Not that everybody has seen it, about
Uh-huh.
him having a
The
discussion with
platinum
Roland
plan
Martin.
and all that.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny? The one thing that I will say, that in regards to Roland Martin talking to Ice Cube, the Biden camp had 22 pages of things in regards to helping people of color. The platinum plan only had 1 page. Um, I put it out there, but just give me your insight on what you felt about that. I'll go to you, Kendra. I'll go to you, Carla. After I'll go to you, Booker, and I'll come to you, Paula. All right. So go
Well,
ahead. What did you just think about that? Because it just sounded similar to what you're talking about: economic growth, people coming together, people of color putting their money together, or freezing their money if they have to. So
yeah,
the
I
bottom
mean,
line is,
well,
my question to everybody is, what do you think about us, how we unify
well,
and become better to make them respect our vote? Maybe that's my question, and I'm asking everybody. Go ahead, Al.
well. I mean, you basically said it right there, Bill. You said, we have the bottom line is that we have to come together. Um, and unite. That no president is going to make black people come together with black people. I don't care who's in the office.
Right,
So
right.
what black people have to come together with black people. Period. So we like the brother said on the comment, I believe he said we spend 1 point the number I believe is $1.7 trillion or $1.4 trillion. The bottom line is that we're like the 12th. If we have the spending power of the 12th richest country on this planet. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? The world. So
Yeah, I'm listening.
with that
Gotcha.
economic power, we have economic power. We just don't have economic power in a united way, and that's the problem.
You
That's the
know,
biggest problem right there.
I agree with you. You know what's so funny? This is something that I thought about earlier. I'm just going to share this with you as I come to you, Kendra. I felt that the early voting will come back and put the hammer to the nail. But I think right now, a lot of Trump supporters are voting now. So sometimes the numbers are kind of crazy. Like looking at Durham, Biden is winning Durham by 82 to Trump, like what was it, 17% or something like that? Okay. Um, but right now, we're just looking at numbers of Florida, Georgia. Trump is winning by 705,000 to Biden's 528,000. So yeah, I'm coming back to you, Kendra. Wake County, Biden is winning 65 to Trump's 33%. Just like, what did you feel in things of that matter? Cause
I really think, like Al was saying, that like now we're seeing some collectiveness, or now it's the time for all of us to be on the same page, and I really saw that this time around, and I'm really feeling that this time around. We've had people, I love the posts that I'm seeing on social media. People took their kids and everybody got stickers, the whole family. I've never seen so many posts before, and more, I feel like it's more collectiveness, if anything, this time around. So I really do, I'm happy about that, but I do agree that it needs to be either way this election goes, it needs to be very tight, because like he said, our money, our influence is huge, like bigger than we can imagine. I think that really goes far, in the political world as well.
Okay.
We have to demand certain resources,
Mm-hmm.
and that's our problem. We don't have
Exactly.
the economic power to demand certain resources like other cultures, and that's why our vote really, like, you know, everybody, basically, you're black, you're going to follow her, you're going to vote democratically. So the Democrats know that. So, and the Republicans know that too. So neither one of them really, to me, I don't really think that either or is really, you know, out for black people, period. I think we
I
have to
got
be
you.
out for ourselves.
I appreciate that. Go ahead, caller.
Okay, so what I would say is that, you know, with any group of people, you know, they talk about the fact that none of these groups are a monolith. You know, all Black people don't want the same thing, don't think the same way. And we're 13% of the population. So think about that. We're roughly 13% of the population in the US. But I think where we can get that power that benefits our communities is to get buy-in from allies. And those allies, they can be white people, Hispanic people, whoever, but we need to create a coalition with others that have our interests at heart, who want to see Black people get equality, who want to see, you know, Black people get a fair shake. And I think what was interesting just a couple months ago with the unfortunate and tragic death of George Floyd is that I think it was literally a wake-up call for white people. Whereas before, when these other things happen, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, you know, all these incidences where it was like stakes were being driven into our hearts when these things happened. But it kind of like, oh, that's such a tragic thing for others. And then it was like out of their head and they were done with it. But I think with what happened this summer, maybe as a product of the pandemic and the mindset that people were already in, feeling that isolation, feeling that anxiety, and then having this incident happen that became this national and global kind of outcry of injustice, I think that really made a lot of, at that point, white people wake up to how Trump has really fed this kind of racial tension in the country. And I think that actually may have caused those people to say, we can't let this guy, you know, win again. Those people that maybe voted for Trump before, or they were on the fence, and now they've realized I can't vote for him again. You know, I think things that happened over the summer really, you know, caused that. So to bring it back to, you know, we as Black people, we can try to, you know, come together as much as possible. And we should, over certain issues, certain basic issues of humanity. Like, this Black person should be treated the same as this white person. I don't see how come everybody can't get behind that. But we need that. We need those allies, that coalition building with other people that also want to see Black people succeed. And they might not be Black people themselves, because right now there are those others that have that power. So we need to get them to use some of their power and put it behind us and behind our issues.
Well, I agree with you, Carla. I think, and I'm gonna go to Booker after this, but I agree with you. I think what made a lot of people of all different ethnicities come together was the seeing the killing of Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and
It was
most
a trifecta. It was a trifecta.
and most importantly, George Floyd. If you didn't have empathy for those individuals at that time, and it seemed like it was almost like month after month after month, then I don't know what's wrong with you as a humanitarian. And you can't tell me you're about people and the blood in your veins, because the bottom line is everybody witnessed a murder with George Floyd, witnessed a murder. and everything Colin Kaepernick said in 2016 or whatever that year was just came to fruition in a negative.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? So when we say all that, and I say all that to say that, like you were saying, Colin, like it galvanized us all together to be collective in getting this dude out of here because he has been divisive and things of that magnitude. So I commend you on what you were saying. Booker, what are you feeling, brother?
Yeah, I agree with everybody here. You know, I've always seen Black people now living in this diaspora. You know, we're spread, you know, all over the place, and sometimes we get disconnected. And I think, you know, social media and venues like this allows us to come together and have these kinds of conversations and to become unified and to be able to share so that we can get the information that we need, whether you're in, you know, you're in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Washington, D.C., you know, you feel more connected to one another. And I think the incidences that we've experienced during this pandemic, you know, actually did that for us. You know, I found myself looking at people in DC that were protesting, that were down in front of the White House or in Atlanta protesting. And even though I wasn't there, I felt like I was there and I felt like I was a part of it. I mean, even myself, we went down to Raleigh and we protested the killing of George Floyd there. And there were so many other people that were out there, not just Black people. There were a lot of Black people, but then there were so many other people. And that in itself, you know, it really enlightens you to say, hey, wait a minute, we're not in this alone. And we have to understand who our partners are and how they're willing to work with us and to see, you know, the kind of changes that we need. So, you know, I haven't read Ice Cube's contract with Black America. I understand where he's going with that and wanting to work with whoever's in power. But I do think that emphasis has to be on, you know, Black empowerment, Black improvement, and, you know, coming together as a people and experiencing that cohesive body that tends, you know, we tend to get divided somewhere. You know, things get a little better for somebody or you know, something happens, but it doesn't affect me. This time it affected everybody. And I think everybody felt, you know, I care about my brother or my sister regardless of where they are. So, you know, that's where I am with this. And I feel that today, this moment that we have is a moment that we can't let go. I think it's liberating. And I think we have to ride it all the way out.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And, you know, it's also comes down to his power in numbers. I did watch some of that clip of Ice Cube and Roland Martin that Bill posted or you shared with me earlier today. And, you know, he has his plan and someone else has their plan. And then Roland Martin pointed out like one or two other plans that are out there. So if you have all these separate plans for, you know, Black empowerment, how about pull them together? You know, I have not read them either, Booker, but just, you know, the clip that I saw earlier, I'm not convinced with, you know, what his agenda is. And I thought he was also lacking because Roland asked him a very direct question, and that is, you know, what did the Trump administration take from your plan and incorporate into their plan? Very simple question that he was not able to answer. So yeah, something does need to be done, but
and that, you know, that I felt that he was actually hijacked by Donald Trump, because one of the things that he said was that was that Donald Trump's administration called him and that Biden called him and that he didn't call any one of them. But then when Donald Trump started running ads, he put his plan underneath his platinum plan. So I kind of felt that, you know, again, here's Donald Trump and his decisiveness, his manipulation. Why? Because he knows that Ice Cube, a rapper, a person with that kind of fame, has a certain amount of followers. And I think that, again, this is Trumpism at its worst, and it continues to dig into the fabric of the nation. That's one of the main reasons why we got to get him out of here, because he
I
continues,
agree.
he'll sow division while we're trying to bring ourselves together. He'll sow division. He doesn't really care. So
Exactly.
that was the problem.
And
That's
he
the one
did.
thing I saw
And he
about
did it.
him was that Trump hijacked whatever he's attempting to do. And I like to read
Right.
what he's trying to do. But again, this is Donald Trump.
Yeah. And the word hijack is one thing when you don't see it, when you're blindsided by it, but what did he think was going to
4
happen?
years, right?
Right? Exactly. Yeah. No, shouldn't have been a surprise there. So what you got? You got something good?
So basically, I'm here. I'm checking the numbers. Ohio is in favor of Biden. Pennsylvania is in favor of Biden. Florida is in favor of Trump. Georgia is favoring Trump. Virginia is in favor of Trump. And North Carolina is favoring Biden right now. These are the numbers that have been coming in. We're not going to keep you all. We got about another like 8 minutes or 6 minutes that we're going to rock with you guys. And we appreciate you all on election night. This is Real Talk Chronicles. And we have your host, Malika Foster, with your co-host, Bill Foster. And we are doing the damn thing. We are just trying to give you some insight on what's going on. Shout out to everybody that are chiming in. This is Real Talk Chronicles. Share it from Facebook, from my page or Malika's page, or from Al's page to Booker's page, from Carla's page to Kendra's page. Share it. And if not, you can go to YouTube and subscribe to it. And this is what we do. I'm not trying to be the next industry cat, but you know what? If I even follow anybody's footsteps in the point of Roland Martin, just being informative for people, just to have a platform
Yes.
to converse with each other and just to share knowledge. Al has been with me with the beginning of this Real Talk plateau. And he's seen it come from the house to the forum to the town hall to now to this aspect, and I appreciate you for being with me every step of the way.
I congratulate you, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Especially since it all came from the passing. Kendra knows from the passing of her aunt, my mother, and Al. One day we'll have Al tell that story about my mother and when she saw us on the post and she talked about my pants. But that's another light point. That's another point. We're not going to talk about that tonight.
The straight leg people
Nah,
don't talk about that.
because that'll just swing it. But I wanted to bring a little laughter to this thing because right now we are so serious and it is totally stressful. I see you, Joe Hammond, in the building. You're not, I know you late, brother, but you're here. Harlem Jim, the beautiful thing about your mother voting at 99 years old and you took her there, that was awesome.
Incredible.
Shout out to Lisa Davis in the building, the lawyer extraordinaire. Philip Offshore, I see you. Anthony Bolden, what's going on? Tell Miko we said hi. Just respect to everybody that's chiming in. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Foster, with my lovely co-host, Malika Foster. We are doing what we're trying to do, trying to be informative, give you some insight right now. Shout out to everybody that chimed in, law enforcement. Shout out to all the beautiful law enforcement people out there. Please be safe, respect. Shout out to all the first responders. My cousin Kendra, she's a first responder. I don't know if Booker or Carla is. But just shout out to you, sis, because I know you were holding it down. She gave us a very informative show one night and just first responding and what was happening in the nursing field. Kendra, if you can, I'm just going to shift it for a second and give you a couple of minutes just to find out what's happening with COVID in the hospitals. I know you're okay. You and your fiance are okay. Tell him I said what's up. I get him. He was on the show too. But just give us some insight right now. What's this whole COVID thing? And that's segueing me to the thing that a lot of people, and I'll come with you, Al, then Booker and Carla, after Kendra says her thing. Like, COVID may be a big persuasion for a lot of people in the way they feel the president handled this situation. So a lot of people have felt like, he didn't even handle that properly. So Kendra, give us some insight. You can take, give us three to 4 minutes, and then everybody else give us 2 minutes. So go ahead, Kendra, give us some insight in that.
we all got our flu shots a couple weeks ago, and everybody kind of felt a little weird the next day. We were like, we wonder if we got some COVID mixed in there. That was just a side, but we all were just wondering about that. But a lot of people were saying that they think the flu may not be as prevalent as it was in past years, only because now everybody is wearing the mask and stuff. So they're thinking the flu season might not be as bad as they thought it was going to be because of the extra precautions that people are taking for COVID. So I hope that's true. Hold some weight, because that would help definitely. But we've set up tents all around the perimeter at all 4 hospitals on our campus to be prepared for, people who are getting procedures. Every single procedure, from a toothache, C-section, got to get COVID tested before you come into the hospital. Wow. So that's a huge load that the hospitals have had to open up new departments and things like that just for the foreseeable future. So we're not even talking about like surges of, people just from that have it. We're just talking about our daily operations have changed for the foreseeable future. Which is just such a wake-up call for all of us, having to staff those departments, getting ready for flexing time again, sort of like a furlough to save the hospital. We were said to be like 50 billion in the hole the second week of COVID, or second or third week of COVID. That's how much it like tanked us from the start. Wow. So it's very hard to recoup those numbers and things. It's just like depressing when you think about it. Like, how are we ever going to get out of this? With the surgeries being stopped and everything.
Wow. Just curious, are the COVID tests that's being given, are they just taking temperatures and that's it? Or are they doing a full-blown test?
They're doing the full test. So the swabbing of the nose, they stopped doing nasal pharyngeal all the way back. So for pre-op patients, they're just doing nasal. So right up at the top. Mm-hmm. And I got one done on myself from occupational health. I don't know if anyone on the panel has had one, but those nasal pharyngeal are awful. They are truly traumatic, and I don't ever want to get another one.
It goes pretty far back,
all the way
right?
back. Oh, wow. Yes, it stings, it burns, everything else. So it's very unpleasant. But I got a sore throat and ran to get mine because I was like, I don't want to have anything that I don't know. But it's just one of those things that we're thinking about for the future. But hopefully the flu season will be masked underneath of, no pun intended, underneath of this COVID. Maybe that has helped with that flu season, the flu season on top of that. But right. I couldn't help but, as a side, just think about if we didn't have the power of social media for the voting, jumping back into that, and the political, the voting and everything. Social media has had a huge positive impact, I think, on everyone voting this year. I was just thinking, like, even if you did it for no other reason but to show your sticker on the, on social media, you voted. So I really think that was a positive thing as well for this election to really jump in there. But yeah, that's what's going on here at the ground level at the hospital. It's exhausting.
Thank you, cuz I appreciate that. That's what's up. Al, I see you step. Oh no, come on, that's definitely what we do. Thank you for your service. Exactly. Al, you got a little pooch with you. What's the dog's name?
Apollo.
Benji? Apollo? Okay,
Apollo.
all right.
Cute.
Cute.
Oh my goodness.
Did he get his COVID test? Let me stop. So Al, let me ask you a question. As you got Apollo with you, is that a shepherd? What kind of dog is that?
Yeah, shepherd and 75% shepherd, 25% Rottweiler.
Oh, okay.
How old is he? Right?
6 weeks. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Wow. So yeah, just get your pooper scooper. I'm sure date myself.
Yeah, got it already.
Yeah, well, in New York City, the polls are officially closed. Thank you, June, for chiming in with us. I appreciate it. Al, let me ask you a question. I see you, Patricia, Trish Camacho in the building. I have something I'm gonna read about what Andre said, but I want to go around the panel real quick. I want y'all to finish your thought on this. Do you think COVID had anything to do with the way people voted? Al, Booker, and then Carla. Then I'm going to read Andre's statement, and I'll let y'all all answer, give your opinion on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Basically, my answer is very short. If you're a Republican, well, basically, if you're a Trump supporter, because I think there's a difference between a Republican and a Trump supporter. If you're a Trump supporter, you don't. COVID's not real and it's fake and it's fake news and it's a cold and it's the sniffles. So, and if you're not, then you believe in it and you have no problem wearing your mask and and following the rules by the CDC. You believe in the doctors, you believe in the scientists. So yeah, it definitely had a weigh in on this election. That's it in a nutshell, I believe.
Well, thank you, Al. I appreciate that. Booker?
Yeah, I do think that COVID is playing a role in this election. Where I live, I see a lot of people wear masks. I myself, I wear masks and gloves, and I'm constantly washing my hands. But in terms of race, black, white people, I see everybody wearing masks. Very few people wearing gloves, but a lot of people wearing masks. And I think that the misinformation about COVID or the lack of communicating that information has really played a part. I like what Al said on probably more Republican voters versus Trump supporters, and not communicating that to them. So I think that, and I've actually heard people say that they felt like Trump was doing a good job. I don't know what people see, but the thing that bothered them was how he handled COVID, and that's why they're not going to vote for him. So, but I think it's played a huge role in this election.
Absolutely.
Okay. Hold on, Carla. Biden won New Jersey, and Trump won Arkansas. Right now, they said Biden has 73, I guess, electoral votes to Trump 48. Go ahead, Carla.
I was just going to say, I agree with what everybody else has said. And specifically, unfortunately, if COVID hadn't have happened, I think Trump would have won re-election by, a landslide. But his mishandling of this pandemic, I think, made those people that were on the fence or were just, had voted for him in 2016 because he was something new and different and an experiment. I think they might have stayed with him if he hadn't mishandled COVID so badly. But the fact that he did, I think those middle ground people just knew that they could not possibly vote for him again, because another 4 years of who knows what happening and him mismanaging it, I don't think they could, see that happening.
I appreciate that. Malika has one comment, one comment, and I guess a statement that you're going to read. One from
I did. No, I'm just kidding.
She does.
Let me switch to it. I'll read better with these super duper glasses.
Diane said, "Carla, you are right on point with your talking. Exactly. Pin the tail on the donkey." Yo, I appreciate it. I got to add a little humor to this. First and foremost, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host, Malika Forster. We appreciate you all for taking the time out of your day. This has been therapeutic for me in lieu of the fact of the anxiety that we're wondering and anticipation of what's going on. It's like the horror movie, and suspense. You don't know what's going to happen, and we still don't know how to happen. But I know I had Assemblyman Al Taylor on yesterday, and the one thing that he did say, God forbid if we don't win, I don't want to say that, put that in the universe. We still, as people, we know how to heal. So I appreciate you, Booker. I appreciate you, Carl. I appreciate you, Kendra. I appreciate you, Al. So
We appreciate you guys too, Malika. We appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Just putting this out here for us.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Both of them died.
I think conversing the way we're doing this is therapeutic for us all. So go ahead. Malika's going to take it away. Go ahead.
So I'm just going to read another comment from Andre Richardson. It says, in terms of all the unlawful Black murders, white America witnessed the murder of George Floyd the same way they witnessed the murder of Black men being hung in the South while they watched together in a group. Why do we expect different results for the same ongoing problems? That is the definition of insanity. We are thinking Black and they are thinking white. And the second part of his comment says, you don't get human compassion when they don't look at you as human.
Anybody want to comment on that? Reply to that? Anybody? Go ahead, Carla. You can read it again.
Sorry,
Hold on, Carla. We're gonna let Malika read it again, so that way she can hear it again. Please, just read it again. I mean, I employ all of you to come back and chime in and talk to the people in your leisure time. But the bottom line is, I mean, he made a statement, and it depends on how you take it or what you feel about the statement. That's the only reason why I'm asking Malika to read it again, because the bottom line is, it may have validity, but you might find out where is he coming from with it, and where are we going with it. So go ahead.
Okay. You have to. The later it gets, we get more silly. So don't mind us. We forget we're on camera.
Read it.
All right. All righty. So Dre says, in terms of all the unlawful Black murders, white America witnessed the murder of George Floyd the same way they witnessed the murder of Black men being hung in the South while they watched together in a group. Why do we expect different results for the same ongoing problems? That is the definition of insanity. We are thinking Black, they are thinking white. You don't get human compassion when they don't look at you as being human.
I'm gonna let.
Can I make my comment?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you come, Carla. I'm just gonna say this: the one thing that when we talk about the South as a time in the past, and in lieu of where we are today, and we don't expect what happened in the South in the '60s and Emmett Till and things like that to still be prevalent to this day. Go ahead, Carla. That's my personal, real quick opinion.
What I want to say is, I understand your anger. I understand your angst about all of that. But with your statement, you are stating that all white people are that way. And we fight all the time to try to get white people to see us as individuals. All Black people are not the same. All Black people do not act a certain way. All Black people do not have a certain kind of background or certain kinds of experiences. We're different. And we're different because we're people. Just like white people are people. They are individuals. And I absolutely do not feel as if white people as a race or as a whole feel that way. There are good people and there are bad people. There are people that don't care, that are just, it's not that they're good or they're bad. It's just that they just don't buy into whatever. They don't want to get involved. But there are plenty of people, good people, white people, Black people, who care about these issues and who want to do something about the things that are happening. And I don't think you can make a blanket statement like that to say, and believe me, I know the definition of insanity, and I agree with the definition of insanity, but I don't believe that we're not going to get anywhere if you think that way, period. If you think that way, then what's the point in getting up in the morning? If you think that way, then what's the point of fighting?
Thank you, Carla. I'm going to chime in real quick. Andre said Audrey and Trayvon were killed in the South, 21st century. I understand that, but in there's a certain ideology. Hold on, there's a certain ideology, Andre, that we feel that we have overcome, because I'm sure Al would not have moved to the South if he thought it was that racist where he would have his family in jeopardy. And he is in Georgia where Audrey was killed. And him and I have had extensive conversations about that. And but we can always have that kind of conversation and revisit that and have people from the South and have Al or you come on the show and we can talk about things of that magnitude, because the bottom line is we feel that this is, yeah, Andre, you're right. It's the 21st century. And we know that there's still racism out there, but we ain't think we still supposed to get killed and hung by it either, too. You know what I'm saying? So that's my personal call. I know you wanted to rebuttal real quick, or you want something to say before I go to anybody else? Okay. Kendra, you want to chime in, or Booker or Al, whoever wants to go first?
Yeah, I think that like Carla was saying, like that comment is a blanket, and I know personally several of my white friends that have really spoken up and used their whiteness as a step for Black people, and then there's some that are totally turning away, or turning a blind eye. And I think the ones that really are out there with us, that are walking alongside of us, using their advantages, is really a beautiful thing. And it's really just showing the humanitarian side of people. And you can't just put everybody in that category where it's like it's like white America, Black America, because there are some that fight just as hard for us, and use their whiteness for our to help us out. So those are the ones that I really focus on, and really always thank them, my personal friends who have done that, because it's very, especially in the medical field, you see this division like huge. Unless you have somebody that you have helped you up using their being white to help you up, it's very difficult. Just from what I've seen, I have definitely benefited from people who have helped me, who have been white. So I really do appreciate that, definitely. I don't take that for granted.
Awesome. Al?
Well, I have to basically go back to, I just think that Black people, we really need to unite. I can go more in depth in this, but I don't think this is the platform to do it right now. So I'll say
Malika just said the same thing. She said the same thing. So
yeah, I'll save that
we'll revisit
for another
this
time.
We'll definitely revisit this.
Yeah. So I just think that basically whoever wins, I hope it's I just hope that 2021 and moving forward is a better year for us to unite and maybe see how we could make a change collectively, not individually but collectively.
Awesome. And before I let you finish his Booker, right now North Carolina seems like 78% of the votes in the Biden is winning that. Pennsylvania, Biden is winning 59% to 40%. Let's see what else is going up. How about that? Georgia, Trump is winning 51% to 41. Florida, Trump 51 to 48%. Let's see, Fulton County, Biden 78% to Trump 21. All right, go ahead.
Old lady with this.
Yeah, Gotta add a little human in this. Go ahead, Booker. Give us some insight real quick, brother.
Yeah, I think I agree about this topic here being probably a separate topic, because you could really go in depth with I guess the crimes against Black people in the past and the crimes that are taking place against us today because of the color of our skin are probably more historical, but it's not necessarily universal among everybody. And I think where it does affect us, like in cases like Ahmaud Arbery, where we're all touched by that and we're all offended, knowing that could have been any one of us. I think we have to also be mindful of all the people who care about our success, and there's a lot of people that are there that are like that. I find myself looking for those people as opposed to looking for those people who would try to hold me back. And I think that I think that when I think that way, I find more people who are desiring to help me than I am people who don't want to help me. It's not that I don't recognize that those people are there. It's just that I have to turn my focus toward those who are going to help me climb. And I think that's where we as Black people collectively, because we generally care about one another, we can, start that process among ourselves, but we also have to recognize that we have allies in this battle. And, when we're emerging out of, a system of white supremacy that has, basically been a form of oppression upon us, we have to realize that's actually what we're coming out of. And we still have those elements in society who have those ideologies, and those we have to recognize, and we have to get the policies and things in place that, that ultimately help us grow and emerge in it.
And what's so funny? I think you all have articulated yourself. I appreciate everything that each one of you said. And this is what I'm going to do. Wednesday is the forum that I discuss things like that with Kevin Branzetti. I'm assuming that he will be with me tomorrow. Hopefully he will be. If not, I'm extending the olive branch to any one of you, especially you, Carla, Booker, Al, and Kendra. If we want to talk about this topic right here, because these are the topics that I talk about Wednesday in lieu of people shooting, people, unarmed people getting killed. So we can definitely chop it up tomorrow. If you're free after the show, let us know. I will send you the link for tomorrow so we can talk about it. Andre, we will revisit those statements that you just said because they are important statements, but they need to be discussed and addressed. With that being said, this is Real Talk Chronicles, and that's Malika Forster, and I'm Bill Forster. That is Booker, that is Carla, that is Kendra, that is Al, and we appreciate you. Thank you, June, for chiming in. Thank you, Paula, for chiming in via Texas.
I think he likes saying, and this is Malika Foster.
Yeah, I like saying it. How about that? I put a ring on it. How about that, right? Kendra, you'll know about that in a few weeks.
Right, I'm laughing
right?
my head off and taking notes.
Exactly. So before we leave, I want to extend, and I'm sure Malika will piggyback on this. I appreciate you all for just coming and giving such an intellectual insight to what you felt about this whole election. It really meant the world to both of us to come on and give this, a special edition of Real Talk Chronicles. So the fact that we are watching elections together means the world, and it'll never be forgotten because the bottom line is tonight history is going to be made good, bad, or indifferent. You understand what I'm saying? And the bottom line is we know collectively the people that have chimed in this group and the ones that on this panel have come together in a way that we want to see change for the betterment of our people of color. So I appreciate you, and I say that from the bottom of my heart. I'll let Malika say what she wants to say, but I want you all to just give people. I always try to end this show with people giving some kind of word of advice, some positive energy before they sign off. So, real talk is, you can't be wrong with real talk because it's your opinion. And the beautiful thing about a real talk is, I try to put people on this show that have an open mind. I always ask people from different walks of life to come on and give me their insight. For some reasons, they don't embark on that. So a lot of times I have to be blessed with the people like yourselves that have no problem conversing with the masses. So with that being said, I'm going to start with you, Al, Booker, Carla, and Kendra. Just give the people out there some positive affirmations, something to think about for the upcoming new year, or just whatever you want to say positive, brother, man. Just the floor is yours, and I'll go around the world with it.
Well, I have something real short and sweet to say. Basically, no matter the turnout of this election, I believe in God, so I believe that God is in control. So, don't go to sleep with a lot of anxiety and stress. And over these next couple of days, the bottom line is that we have a real king, and we have to always glorify his name, and his name is Jesus. So that's it.
That's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Al. Hold on. Go ahead, Booker.
Okay, yes, absolutely. One thing that I've been thinking about the past few days is one of the things that Jesus said was, "Be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world." And I think that, you know, when you can embrace that kind of joy and that kind of cheer inside, you have the ability to overcome great challenges. And I think, you know, if you're feeling a bit stressed, you know, find those sources of joy, those things that give you laughter in your heart, and you will find yourself starting to emerge a little bit better.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Carla.
So what I would say is, for anyone who, like me, has felt like they've experienced a lot of trauma from these past couple of years, just seek help. You know, make sure if you don't like to do the formal thing, which is talk to a professional, you know, talk to your friends, talk to your parents, talk to your brothers, your sisters, people in your church, but talk to people and make sure you don't isolate yourself and keep that stuff bottled inside, because it'll eat you up on the inside. So just make sure that you're getting that out there, you know, that you're laying it down, write it in a book, and then shut that book and leave it alone. But, you know, there's, like we're all saying, there is always hope for tomorrow. And one of my favorite phrases from the Bible is, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." And so every day I wake up and I'm like, it's a new day. So it could be a new change. It could be better.
That's beautiful. Appreciate you.
Yes.
Carla.
I'm in agreement with everybody.
Kendra. I'm sorry.
I'm in agreement with everybody. God's definitely in control of this government, but also compassion fatigue is very real. And like Carla was saying, it's so important to pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to, you know, your own self-care so that you can continue to give that compassion, whatever your profession is, wherever you are in life, you can continue to give compassion without being burnt out yourself. And so I would say, to encourage everyone out there, now is the time more than ever to just do a lot of self-reflecting, get help, like Carla was saying, you know, pray, meditate about this election, everything else, so that you're not getting that burnt out, you know, compassion fatigue for other people. Show the humanity out here. We all really, really need it.
Awesome. That is beautiful. I appreciate you all. I will let my wife,
Amen.
I'm going to say that, wife, say something before we chime out. I ask you all tomorrow if you're free. Seriously, Andre, you wrote something. I'm asking you all to come back tomorrow. We talk about tomorrow. We talk about reform. We talk about police change. If any of you want to have insight and want to talk about that and converse about that, you're more than welcome to do that. Andre, I'm asking you if you want to come on the show, because you are putting a lot of stuff out in the universe. Andre said, "Oh no," I told him, I said, we can just revisit this tomorrow. And where tomorrow is the forum, this is about politics and electoral votes and things of that magnitude. And we are hoping and praying that things happen right now. Colorado seems like it's in Biden's favor. New Hampshire's in Biden's favor. So, you know, we just going to sit back and watch, and everybody, you know, like you said, I appreciate you all took yourselves to a higher place, in the spiritual place, and people are loving you, everything that all of you are saying in here. So I asked you to go back and converse with them and text them in your leisure. Sweetheart, what are you feeling, darling?
I told you the later it gets, everything goes out the window. Right. I just have to say that I truly love and appreciate every single word that each of you have spoken. I mean, that's how we live our lives daily, to try and be supportive not only of ourselves, of each other, but but each other, right? It extends way beyond this household. And I was just sitting here thinking, when I first woke up this morning, like I said, it was quite early, but our plan always is to just sit on the couch together and watch the results, and on Facebook talk to people. But I'm so glad that we've opened it up so that we can converse with each of you and everybody else, all the other viewers who have chimed in. I mean, I know personally this was helpful for me. I don't feel as stressed as I did before. It's just about woosah, and it's so true. And I think Jay also mimicked what you said, Carla. Don't worry about what you cannot control. And I say this all the time to people, like, if it's out of my control, I'm not going to worry about it, because I cannot control what other people do. We each did our part, whether it was today, whether it was a couple weeks ago. Each of us did our part. We went out there and voted. We also encouraged other people to vote. That's all we can do. Now we're just going to sit back and watch and let the chips fall where they're going to fall, and we will continue on. Like, Al, I love the fact that you just keep saying, we all have to work together. We do. And this Real Talk Chronicles forum is an example of that, of each of us expressing ourselves, being supportive of each other, giving advice to one another, and we're here for each other. So no matter what the result is, I hope Biden wins, but no matter what happens, right? No matter what happens, we will still persevere. We will continue on. We will continue to be strong, and that's it. And Bill, thank you. You're doing an excellent job with this.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, you're good at getting people together, and I'm your little cheerleader on the side here.
Thank
So,
you. Awesome. This is a beautiful thing. Like I said, I appreciate you. I commend you all for the way you can converse and articulate yourselves in the manner that you have done. I think you show what Black excellence is. You know what I'm saying? From a woman's standpoint, from a men's standpoint, this is what we do. We're not all about the NIG words and the not dotting the I's and not crossing the T's. We were able to come together and converse. Al, that dog is going to shit on your clothes, so you better just take him outside.
I'm about to take him out right now.
I just listen, you always got to throw some light in it. It's a beautiful thing. Listen, I really, Carla, Booker, Kendra, Al, I ask you all, if you want to come back tomorrow. We will. I mean, if it's not your lane, then don't get in it. I mean, but we're going to talk about the things that Andre brought to light, because I want Andre to come. Al, is that dog whining? I want Andre to come back in and talk about what he was saying. Carla, I really want you to address some things. Booker, I do too. Al, I want you to address it. Kendra, I want you to do it, because you do have a husband, a fiance that is a law enforcement, my future cousin-in-law, and the thing is that these are topics that we can address. Kevin used to work with Al and myself, so I mean, Kevin, I appreciate Kevin for coming out and speaking up on things of this magnitude. I'm Bill Forster. That's Malika Forster. This is Real Talk Chronicles. Thank you all tonight. We appreciate you. We about to get out of here.
So how do we relieve stress? We shake it off.
I'm about to go get me a bottle. That's what I'm about to say.
Y'all need to have an exit
listen.
song.
Y'all stay on for one
exit song.
Yeah, we need an exit song. We had an entrance.
Oh, okay. I get your exit song. I get your exit song. Booker, don't leave yet. Everybody, please don't leave before after we sign off. We want to talk for a minute. We want to talk. But I'm gonna do an exit song so that everybody can understand.
It's so funny. I'm looking at Bill with his plastic cup, and I have my little glass here with a straw, and it's sparkling water. It looks quite fancy, but it's just sparkling water. But I'm feeling great because
I'm going to give y'all the exit song. I ask you all to stay on after we log off from Facebook and YouTube. But just stay on for a few more minutes. But this is the exit song, everybody. Hold on.
Let's go.
Oh, that's a good one. Slow to start.
Yeah. Yeah. She's trying to. She's trying to swag it out, everybody. Exactly. You can't go wrong with Marvin, everybody.
A man of the times.
That's it. Exactly.
He's always relevant.
Exactly. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. Thank you. Booker, Paula,
Thank you.
Kendra, Al,
Thank you.
Malika. I'm your host, Bill Forster.
All
And we got
right.
Mighty Dog in the building. Exactly. Everybody, we see you tomorrow, 7 p.m.
Yes.